Guys, this is Rainer Taylor with Charlie Mike Media. I just wanted to start off with this little tidbit about this survey that came out from the Georgetown University's Institute of Politics and Public Service, which states 7 in 10 U.S. say we're on the edge of a civil war. Very interesting how all this stuff is popping up. The partisan political division and the resulting incivility has reached a low in America, with 67% believing that the nation is nearing civil war, according to a new national survey. This is from the Washington Examiner. Sorry about that. The majority of Americans believe that we are two-thirds of the way to being on the edge of a civil war. That is to me a very pessimistic place, said Mo Alithi, who is the executive director of the Georgetown University Institute of Politics and Public Service. They go on and on about a bunch of stuff that they kind of go off track a little bit, but it's kind of weird. And I just wanted to start off with that because that's what I seem to talk about a lot is the possibility of like civil conflict happening in the United States. I mean, we have seen to an extent it happening with civil unrest. We've had, I mean, my last video was about the dude bear macing a bunch of people at a protest. So keep in mind, 7 out of 10 in the U.S. think that we're on the verge of civil war, and this particular article is from the Daily Mail, but this happened earlier today. Conservative congressman. So 20 right-wing, well, it says right-wing, 20 Republican House members disrupted a Democrat-led meeting and prevented a Pentagon official from giving a deposition in the ongoing impeachment probe. They staged a sit-in and ordered pizzas even, anticipating a long protest in one of the most secure rooms in the Capitol. They were in the SCIF, so you're not allowed to have cell phones, all that crap. So, let's see. Where is it? I don't know. Apparently, the Democrats they were trying to just blame it like, oh, we're getting mad at them for bringing in their cell phones and stuff because that's like a national security concern. But that's not really the case, and we all know this. They're trying to keep all this stuff hush hush because the evidence it's very thin. They actually had to call in the Capitol Police and even their sergeant at arms to escort them out of the room. It's pretty crazy because let's see, the Representative Matt Gaetz, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Because just the other day, I remember he tried to sit in on one of the things and they booted him out too. So it's kind of funny. And I know I talk about Ukraine a lot. That's like the best way for me to compare, us and like another conflict. Well, Ukraine is pretty close to what we're looking at here. And I remember watching all this stuff live. Like during the whole Ukraine crisis, man, I just watched it all the time. It was crazy. And there was a moment at the parliament where like everyone, like they had to they couldn't agree to anything. So what did they do? They had to raise their hand for yes and no, and everyone was like, "What the hell are y'all doing?" And they actually started like getting into little brawls there and stuff. I mean, look at what happened before our last civil war. People, that dude got whipped with that stick and almost killed him and stuff. I mean, like it has happened here in the past, so it's not completely unheard of, but it just shows you that it's starting to ramp up. Yeah, see, let's see, Associated Press. Yeah, so around 24 stormed into the closed door deposition. Yes, they pretty much the same stuff. The maneuver delayed a deposition with Laura Cooper, a senior Defense Department official who oversees Ukraine policy, until mid-afternoon. The interview began roughly 5 hours behind schedule after security check by Capitol officials and ended after roughly 4 hours. So, I mean, it was already going to take a while, but they delayed it for a while too. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Let's see, what else did I got here? This is from the Economic Collapse blog. Michael Snyder. I'm not going to read this whole thing as it's a huge thing, but I just wanted to kind of like brush past it. He says most Americans don't realize it yet, but in just a few weeks we'll witness one of the most critical moments in American history. Right now, the Democrats in the House of Representatives are drafting articles of impeachment, and it is expected that they will have a vote by the end of the year. If President Trump is impeached by the House, that will set off a chain of events that nobody is going to be able to control. And if the U.S. Senate ultimately decides to remove Trump from office, all hell will break loose in America. There are tens of millions of very loyal Trump supporters in this country, and many of them are extremely passionate. Simply impeaching Trump would represent a breaking point for many of them, and if Trump is actually removed from office by a Republican-controlled Senate, it is inevitable. It is inevitable that we would see a very frightening explosion of righteous anger, and at that point, there wouldn't be much of anything that could be done to calm them down. So he says, like, basically, that's the same stuff that I always talk about. Uh, if we do end up getting like this impeachment thing kind of goes, it actually brushes through. And I know now they're starting to say that it's starting to slow down a little bit. Like they wanted to have it done before Thanksgiving, but now they're thinking maybe by the end of the year. But still really fast. And the thing is that you have, I mean, there's a lot of fence sitters. There's a lot of people who are just like trying to go to work, do their normal thing. But there's a lot of hardcore Trump supporters. There's a lot of hardcore anti-Trump people. Like it's crazy. I mean, obviously, the main ones that you like usually see is Proud Boys on the right and Antifa on the left. But there's like a million other different groups because those are really broad terms. I mean, like yes, Proud Boys is actually not a broad term; it's a very specific group. But they're mainly the ones who are out there like getting into these street battles with them. But Antifa is actually like a bunch of different groups that they just kind of like umbrella under Antifa. But I mean, I said it last night. Say it again. I mean, this shit. I mean, it's probably going to start in Portland, Oregon. That seems to be the big battleground. But I mean, you look at Washington right now. I mean, whenever you have congressmen like, oh yeah, I forgot to say it, Scalise. He apparently was yelling at Schiff. I think at the Schiff. He was like apparently just screaming in his face during that whole ordeal whenever they stormed that room. So it's getting really heated. And the thing is, like, during any revolution, civil war, mass civil unrest, whatnot, yes, you're going to see people freaking out in the streets and yelling at each other, hitting each other. That's what the peasants do. That's what the peasantry does. But whenever you start seeing the nobility, the aristocrats up on Capitol Hill, damn near going to blows with each other, that's when you know something's going on. I mean, just whenever President Trump was being elected, or like during the debates, it was like, oh god, it was awful. Like never seen people talk about each other like that, of that status, talk about each other like that on live TV in front of almost 400 million people. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's a little tidbit for the day. It really surprised me whenever I saw that. I was like, what? Because, like I said, like I immediately thought of Ukraine when all the people in Parliament almost beat the crap out of each other. Like, whoa, man, I mean, that brings back some memories of 2014, 2015 of all that stuff happening in Ukraine. Man, that was just whoo. But yeah, pay attention to this stuff because this isn't something that's just going to go away. This stuff is just getting crazier and crazier and crazier as it goes along. I mean, no, you're not hearing about as many big protests right now as you did, like, say, in 2017. But the thing is that at first you have a bunch of people show up, boom, like they're like, yeah, like a bunch of protests, and then as time goes on, like it's more of like an insurgency now. I'm not saying that people are doing roadside bombs and stuff like that, but I mean it's like it's an insurgent behavior on both sides. Like showing up to their events, kind of like slinking into the crowd and then attacking with bear mace and doing this and doing that. Um, beating up Trump supporters, old women crossing the crosswalk. I mean that was in Canada, but I mean come on, man. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is not going to go away. It's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And the thing is, eventually, you're going to start seeing actual, true political violence, not just protests and riots. Like, yes, I guess that would be considered political violence, but it's not. We're talking about like serious political violence, like stuff that you see happen, like, you know, in Iraq, like Libya and Egypt back in the day. I mean, this is like, I mean, just I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I mean, from where we're at right now, and with everything being so politically correct, and everything is like, oh, you have to listen to me, you have to respect my views, but I don't have to respect yours. You have to respect mine. Like I don't care, what your religion is. You have to respect my religion. And that's how everyone is. So it's like, it's not gonna change. We're never gonna go back to the way we were before. It's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And eventually, who knows? I almost said boom again. I said it like 4 times on the last video. But yeah, so that's all I got right now. I actually am gonna post this video on Facebook, and I'm also gonna try to post it on the YouTube channel of mine. Um, Trying to figure it out. I'm not really big with YouTube. I'm actually so used to doing Facebook Live videos. I'm not even used to uploading videos to Facebook. So we'll see how it works. But please, if you watch it, you like it, you like some of my content, or you just want to help me out, go to the YouTube page and like the channel. Subscribe to it. You don't have to watch my videos afterwards. Just subscribe to it. Just help me out. Like I'm not looking for like a bunch of people to subscribe to. Oh yeah, subscribe to my videos. I just need to get enough to get out of the algorithm, where because right now, like, they're basically holding me in, like, in a jail cell for like home movies and stuff. You have to get a lot more. You have to do a lot more videos and get a lot more people like watching your stuff to actually get out there and get out on the search engines. Appreciate all you guys. Like I said, you like last thing. Like I said, just pay attention to the news. Like, you can't trust all of it, but you still should look at it because you need to know what you're dealing with. Because right now is not a good time to be in the dark. But yeah, thanks. Have a good night.